bless her. My one communicant, she can't really take anything in, nothing personal. The Berlingo, the most disastrous electronics ever. But there's one, I mean they really are. As of about 4 years ago, I've had to disconnect, I've had to take the fuse out for the electric doors, the central locking. If I leave the battery connected, it still drains the battery because this central locking thing sometimes comes on and you can hear it clicking away. And if I leave the battery connected when I go for a walk, often I'll come back and it's flat. All of the yeah, I had about a year whilst the master brake, no, that little red one there would come on when you're driving along and your brake fluid's full. However, there is one fault I've never had. There is, though, just the one parable of life, and one day I'm going to sit down and write out thoughtfully and in nice yogi tea bag format, or I mean, this really is all life is, in that my working tax credit gets paid tomorrow. What is it, £80 a week? Your top up for being in the bottom third, which a third of the working population gets, or something like that. Certainly 8 million. Of course, they don't talk about. It's necessary in Britain. Blah blah blah. But forget all of that. I've no interest in anything in Britain. But running low on cash, I put day before yesterday, my fuel was showing about there, and the fuel gauge is reliable. So reliable, I don't even bother with a 5 litre can, which is the best way to operate if you're on a shoestring. In other words, you know you've always got 5 litres in your can. I don't bother anymore because it's so reliable. So yeah, 2-3 days ago, I put in a tenner of fuel from that position, and then a bit later, I hadn't driven very far, it had gone right down, and it was right on the edge of the little red box, and the yellow fuel low warning light came on. I was like, shit man, it's really guzzling today. I mean, vehicles use twice as much fuel when it's, well, diesel vehicles use twice as much fuel when it's really cold. So it's like, shit man, okay, I've got to really be careful. Monday I'll fill it up. So for that whole day, in fact for 2 days, it was the yellow light was showing. And then yesterday afternoon I just kind of came down here. Oh, I'm going now because you can't identify yourself. I have honest conversations with people. Just had an honest conversation with a woman who comes by and playing with her dog there, and most people, you can tell, they just hate honest conversations. It's like, oh, this is my pit stop, she's there on her expensive bicycle. Well, don't stop too long because the amount of drug addicts that come and loiter places like this. Anyway, yeah, but you just know they can't, they cannot. It's like a real conversation terrifies virtually everybody. It's real, except for the woman I met yesterday. We were completely frank about everything. In fact, she added to my reality talk. Parable. So I really was like, shit, I've got to be very careful for a few days until tomorrow morning. go and get the cheapest fuel around. And then yesterday, all of a sudden, the real problem with that is that I have to run the 2 batteries, 3 batteries I've got, but these two are so old, well, they're about 3 years old, that they don't hold a lot of charge. But yeah, I have to run the engine for 20 minutes a day at idle. It's like, am I even going to be able to do that? And then yesterday, so point being, parable. Your tank is dry. You've got all the evidence. The fuel gauge has always been totally reliable. And the temperature gauge is the only 2 electronic reliable things. I mean, give up on the radio like years ago.